Everyone starts somewhere, but most people quit before they start because they're embarrassed. Embarrassed to be weak, embarrassed to be behind, embarrassed to look foolish. I know that feeling. I lived it. I was the guy everyone laughed at, the guy nobody believed in, the guy who looked impossible to succeed. And every day, the world reminded me of it. Too weak, too small, too different, too far behind. Maybe you've heard those words too. Maybe people looked at your dream and smiled, not because they believed in it, because they thought it would fail. Maybe you've been rejected, ignored, overlooked. Maybe you've watched people with more talent pass you by, while you stayed exactly where you started. That's when doubt enters your mind, quietly, slowly, dangerously. It whispers, maybe they're right. Maybe you're not enough. Maybe this dream belongs to someone else. And that's the moment that decides everything. Not when you win, not when you succeed, not when people finally notice you. The moment you decide whether being weak today means you'll be weak forever. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Every master was once a beginner. Every champion was once overlooked. Every powerful person once stood exactly where you are now. Weak, lost, uncertain. The difference? They started anyway. So before this video ends, I want you to answer one question. Are you afraid of being weak? Or are you afraid of what happens if you never try? You know what's painful? Being told you're not enough. Not once, not twice, every single day. People think failure hurts. Failure is easy. You fail. You learn. You move. What's harder is carrying the weight of other people's opinions, the labels, the doubt, the constant reminders of who they think you are. Weak, average, forgettable. I know that feeling. Walking into a room and already knowing nobody expects anything from you. Watching people choose someone else, trust someone else, believe in someone else, while you're standing there invisible, and after a while, you start doing their job for them. You reject yourself before they can. You lower your expectations. You stop trying, because if you never try, you never have to fail. But that's the trap. The biggest prison isn't weakness. It's self-doubt. It's waking up every morning with a dream in your heart, and a voice in your head telling you it's impossible. It's seeing everyone move ahead while you feel stuck. It's putting in effort and getting no results. It's training, falling, getting back up, and still feeling behind. That's where most people surrender. Not because they can't continue, because they can't see progress. They expect growth to feel exciting. But most growth feels lonely, silent, boring, painful. Nobody sees the early mornings. Nobody sees the sacrifices. Nobody sees the battles you're fighting inside your own mind. They only see the outcome, and by the time they notice, they call it talent. They never see the suffering that built it. So if you're struggling right now, if you feel behind, if you feel weak, good. Because every strong person you admire once stood exactly where you are, alone, doubting, hurting, wondering if any of it was worth it. The difference is, they kept going long enough to find out. Let me tell you something most people never understand. Weakness isn't the problem. The fear of being weak is. Think about it. Nobody is born powerful. Nobody enters this world disciplined. Nobody starts as the strongest version of themselves. Yet people act like being weak is a crime. They hide from it, run from it, pretend it doesn't exist. And because of that, they never grow. The dark truth is this: Your weakness is showing you exactly where you need to improve. But your ego doesn't want to hear that. Your ego wants shortcuts. Your ego wants results without sacrifice. Your ego wants to look strong instead of becoming strong. That's why so many people stay stuck. They spend years protecting an image, while others spend years building themselves. One becomes impressive, the other becomes powerful. And there's a difference. The world teaches you to avoid failure, but failure is a teacher. The world teaches you to avoid embarrassment, but embarrassment is proof you're trying. The world teaches you to stay comfortable, but comfort slowly steals your potential. Every level of your life demands the death of an older version of you. The lazy version, the fearful version, the version that waits for motivation, the version that keeps making excuses. And that process hurts, because growth is not addition. It's transformation. You don't become stronger by keeping everything the same. You become stronger by letting weakness expose what needs to change. That's why I never hated my weaknesses. I studied them. I attacked them. I trained through them. Because every weakness contains a lesson, and every lesson contains power. The people who win aren't always the most talented. They're the ones willing to face the truth about themselves. Again, and again, and again, until the person they used to be no longer exists. That's the philosophy. Don't fear weakness. Fear staying the same. So, what changed? I stopped asking whether I was good enough, and started asking whether I was willing to improve. That one decision changes everything. Because when you're obsessed with being enough, you focus on where you are. When you're obsessed with growth, you focus on where you're going. Most people lose before the battle begins. Not because they're weak, because they've already judged themselves. They look at the distance, the competition, the obstacles, and they decide it's impossible. I did the opposite. Every weakness became a target. Every failure became information. Every rejection became fuel. Every bad day became training. That's the shift. Stop seeing weakness as a verdict. Start seeing it as a starting point. You don't need confidence to begin. You need commitment. Confidence comes later, after the work, after the sacrifice, after the days when nobody believes in you, after the mornings when quitting seems easier. The strongest mindset isn't, "I'll do it when I feel ready." It's, "I'll do it until I become ready." Because readiness is earned, not given. So stop waiting for motivation. Motivation disappears. Discipline stays. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. They never arrive. Stop waiting to feel powerful. Power is built. One choice, one rep, one day at a time. And one day you'll look back and realize something incredible. The thing you once called weakness was the reason you became strong, because it forced you to grow. It forced you to fight. It forced you to become someone better than you were yesterday. And that's all that matters. For the next 30 days, stop proving people wrong. Start proving yourself right. You don't need talent to start. You don't need confidence to start. You don't need permission to start.